Good evening all and welcome to episode 35 of the Sky Fantasy Podcast by Fantasy Football Hub, a Christmas special as we relax a little in this crazy period of football. Thank you so much to Frank from FF Stuff, who actually made Dan look like he enjoys life a little in our opening elf video for our YouTube watchers. Really good effort there, Frank. Thank you so much for that. My name is Andrew and I'm joined as usual by two of the most successful Sky managers in the game. Paul McAnulty. Did you have a nice Christmas, Paul?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Fergie. Good, nice, quiet Christmas. When fantasy teams are doing okay as well. So good all round.
And you're looking very fresh, mate. Very clean shaven and 10 years younger.
Yeah, we're talking before we went on air. After I downed tools for work, I just thought go for a shower, have a shave, get ready for the party season. So
the party season, the party Zoom season, brilliant.
That's it.
We also have former Sky winner Dan Cox with us. How was your Christmas, Dan? Are you sober?
I had a couple of beers, mate. Can't lie. This ain't going out as a podcast, is it?
I think it will now, but
okay.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I've had one beer. Yeah, no, it's been all right, mate. And I've got two young kids, so at the opposite of a Christmas to Paul, I've been like, mate, I spent hours building Lego and playing these games and finding batteries for things. You know how it is, don't you? And
then you played with the kids stuff after that, then, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it, mate. Spent ages doing all that. So yeah, busy, mate. A bit gutted. I missed out on my Boxing Day dinner. I was supposed to have a Boxing Day dinner around the father-in-law's. He's cooking. He's so good. We normally go around there every Boxing Day, so it's not really able to do that. It's all guttering. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been all right, mate. We had our one day out and now we're home with the kids for another 8 days. So happy days.
Indeed, yeah. I had a quiet one as well. Like I say, the kind of one thing which makes a lot of this reasonably normal, I suppose, is it's just all the football all the time, isn't it? It kind of like distracts you a little bit, and stuff. So yeah, just having all having all the kids and the family and all that stuff. And my boys had a PS5 and we turned the room into like a bit of a gaming room. So I haven't got out of it yet, to be fair. They got all these like LED lights and FIFA 21 and all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'll go and spend some time with the kids. I'll get the brownie points in when really all I'm doing is playing on my my career mode on FIFA. But no, it's all good. Welcome everyone. As we are live, please feel free to join in the chat at any time. Let us know your thoughts on the topics or the relevant sections. Feel free to ask some questions for us to answer. Good evening all. We've got Reese Bloomer in the chat, Mark Wright, Mike Neve 81, Aaron Alton, last season's 5th place finisher, Jim Morris, Auto Reclose, Brownie, Paul Evans, Luke, Tom Hartnell asks me to rate the Dolphin straddle. Fergie, it was a really good 8 out of 10. It gave me a really good kind of shove at the top. Good evening to Dave Beaton. First time I've caught this live. Dave, you're in for a treat. I know you've only come to try and win the mug. We've got James Street, Andrew Patterson, Martin Beasley, Ian Parrin, Pete S, all in the chat. Welcome, everyone. If you are on, please come and say hello. So this evening is going to be a little different as we take a little bit of a break from the hardcore Sky stuff. We've all had a drink, so I'm completely incapable of doing anything after a drink anyway. So apologies if anything goes wrong with the stream or the graphics or anything. We're gonna.
As long as the round's okay for the quiz, for the mug question, then we're good.
I haven't put it on, Paul. Yeah, I haven't put it on. I haven't. We're gonna have to find out a way of doing it. I'm gonna have to hold it up on my phone or something like that. We'll do that later.
You had one. Well, you didn't have one job. You had a few jobs.
I know. Okay. We're going to answer a few questions. We're going to look ahead to Gameweek 17, which takes place over the New Year period. We're then going to open our secret Santa gifts that we bought each other before Paul quizzes us all on Sky Fantasy. The gloves are off between Dan and I. The loser has apparently got a necker shot, and we'll also owe each other another
necker shot
pint. When we do eventually meet.
How many questions are there?
Or you could just do the pints bit if you want.
No, do a shot. We've got to do a shot as well.
I've already got Bailey's here or Amaretto.
That's okay, mate. You can have
that's two then.
How many questions are there, Paul?
10.
10. Yeah. Be pretty bad if we're only getting one or two, innit?
Well, it's multi-choice A to D, so on average you should get 2.5 anyway. So.
Okay, win and score a 3.
We're also going to finish off then with Dan's Christmas rant. Just seen that Neto has got an assist. So I think a few of us jumped on the Neto train last week, didn't we? I think a couple of us jumped on the Bamford train as well. So we're doing all right there. Liam Dorrian, last year's champion, is in the chat, who was at a bit of a nightmare. I think he jumped on Twitter early, and I think he's jumped off Cancelo, who got arrested for one game. He jumped on to Gabriel, maybe was it, who then got sent off and missed a game, and I think he moved him on today for Matip, who I mean, you know, there's fantasy luck, and then there's luck. Matip owners.
I can beat that.
You can beat
come
that.
to it later.
Okay, we'll come to that now. But just to touch on Matip, that's one of the worst pieces of fantasy luck. He actually went down the 57th minute, and I'm a non-Matip owner in Sky and FPL, and it was obviously like he'd done himself in, right, and he sat down, and I'm jumping up at the TV, and my wife's like, "Oh, what? Someone scored!" And I'm like, "No, he's going off injured. He just needs to get off the pitch before 60 minutes. Get off!" I'm like, "Get off! Come on!" And then Williams was like pulling his shirt on really slowly. 58 minutes. And I'm like, "Come on, hurry up!" Because the actual swings off that, both in Sky and in FPL, were massive, weren't they? He was 9 passes off tier 1. He was on 3 tackles, and he missed his clean sheet. So, you know, it would have been, I think he ended up on 5 points, but he could have ended up on 15 or 16
man of the match, couldn't he?
And a man of the match even more. So
not owning any Liverpool defenders, and after 5 minutes, if you had told me that Robertson plus Matip was going to end up on 7 points, I would never have believed you.
Absolutely unbelievable. It is. Just to say, it's a result. Wolves won, Spurs won. Harry Kane underwhelming again. He's, after Fulham and Leeds, I'm very tempted to maybe give him a shove. We'll see.
Get rid of him for Vardy or something.
Maybe, yeah. Gabriel and Vestergaard as well. I mean, it's been a tough week for that. Paul, I know you mentioned it a few weeks ago, didn't you? That kind of 8 million spot and rotating that spot is quite tough. And, you know, we've raved about Vestergaard, Matip, even Gabriel. Well, but actually, I think we're a bit against Matip, but for this exact reason, is that he gets injured all the time, don't he? But those who jump on there are really unlucky.
I guess going back to one of the first things that we said on this pod is that it seems like in a lot of weekends the winners are those that aren't making any transfers. Now I know that
right.
You know, I know that COVID's not going to be completely eradicated by the end of the season, so it could still happen with transfers at the end of the season as well. But sure. Seeing those team sheets is really important, I think. It
is, and another thing, you know, just in terms of strategy and luck, I suppose. You know, I picked Martinez at overhaul. I wasn't, you know, I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting a lot, right? But again, a month ago, Martinez, I don't think he kept a clean sheet in a few games. He was scoring low, and it was just like, just hold on. He's got something like 47 points his last 4 games, and you compare that to, you know, owners of like, I don't know, maybe Meslier, Patricio, and the swing there is like, I'm guessing something like 40 odd points, right? 38 to 40 points. And that's a proper land on the right side of a 50-50 there, right? It's like, and 40 points in this game is a massive rank swing either way, right? So, you know, anyone who said, you know, I think you can in fantasy, you know, you kind of make your own luck to a large degree and stuff. But, you know, if I hadn't gone on Martinez, I'd be in the thousands now, you know, and I just think that luck does play a massive factor in the game, and I think that's just a really, really good example of where very close not putting Martinez in, you know, kind of in overhaul at all, but then close to taking him out as well, you know, and left him in, and that 40-point difference is absolutely massive. And Patricio owners, I mean, at least they were put out of their misery in the first minute earlier. It was a strange thing from him because he seemed to be on his wrong foot. It was a bit of an odd, you know, he was nowhere near it really, even though it was like in the middle of the goal. But yeah, he's been very underwhelming, hasn't he? And just the other kind of observation I've had is low captaincy scores this last week or two. All the big guns, you know, Salah, KDB, Kane, Vardy to like a lesser degree, but it's been really, really tough. And wondering, how many people will hold their nerve on them, and is holding your nerve the right thing to do? So KDB, for example. So if we look at tomorrow evening's captaincy, KDB was probably nailed on, right? Have either of you guys had any other thoughts on that, on the captaincy now for that day?
Just DS.
Yes. I'm still going to KDB, but I'm the same. DS is like, I could see why. I could see the merit in going DS, and I certainly wouldn't talk anyone out of going DS.
I wonder if DS has well, I say this. So obviously Pep has said that De Bruyne is very likely to play every game, I think. Is Diaz due a rest? It's just going to be such a tough one. I mean, if someone goes on to Diaz and captains Diaz and he doesn't play, and KDB goes and does a bit of a madness, which he's prone to do, right? It's a big swing. It's a really tough one, but I suppose you could say that about anyone at any time, right? And but anyway, and the last one, just on I think it's Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, might be Wednesday. Kane home to Fulham, Salah away to Newcastle. Dan, who are you captaining then?
Oh God, whoever I captain will get 2 points. So I don't know.
Matter.
I think I had Salah in my notes, but both argue, like, you could argue the merits of both, couldn't you? But they probably both won't score.
Yeah. And Paul, what about you?
I'm going to captain Kane.
Oh really? I'm thinking of Salah. I think Kane's just not looking like he's gonna do it. I know that Salah was quiet earlier, but I think Klopp's gonna give him a big boot up the backside for that game. But okay, so let's answer a few questions before we just quickly look at next week. So we had a question from For Reasons Unknown. Which three midfielders are most crucial to the next overhaul? So he's currently 4-3-3. He's got Bruno, Grealish and Mount. Which three midfielders are most crucial up to the next overhaul? Paul, what do you think about
that? I like the Mount shout. Lampard trusts him and seems to clear him every game. I certainly, if I owned, he would be in that 8, like he is in that 8 million category. That I don't like rotating. If I had one in, I would stick to it. Like if I had Ward-Prowse, I would just see it through. Yeah. Ticking along, and I think Mount is as well. It's all about how you use the KDB money for me. If you're downgrading, I just see no, like, other than 3 premiums up front. But then I like Bamford as well, and he's only 8 million, so he allows for 2 premiums up front and a balanced squad elsewhere. I don't think with Van Dijk being out for Liverpool, I just don't think that I could utilise the money elsewhere either. So I'm just going to stick with KDB, Grealish and Bruno as my 3 midfielders. I've got Neto just now, but he's going to go back to a defender at some point probably, or another midfielder to get captaincy out of when the February fixtures are announced before the overhaul. But yeah, I'm happy sticking with those 3. I've been playing it safe all season, I think, and every time the league gets updated, the leaderboard gets updated, I've been going slightly up each time, just by picking the obvious captain and not making many transfers, or just making transfers when I need to. So I'll stick with those 3. I can see merit. I wouldn't go back onto KDB if I didn't have him now. And as I say, I like the Mount shout, but I don't think this is the one season that I would say that nobody is essential in the game at all, or even near essential. You can play this season lots of different ways. Okay,
and how about you, Dan?
Yeah, I think the same for De Bruyne, pretty much. Like I've got him. He ain't been doing a lot, but it is so risky to take him out because I think I've got him penciled in to be captain a few times, and you just, well, I hope, but you take him out and he'd do one of them 40-point captaincy nights, and I don't know, it's a bit of a risk for me. I think, like I say, I'll just leave him in and hope he does something. But I said, like Paul said, if you take him out, where else do you then spend that money when you got, players like Dallas still churning out the points, and your cheap keepers, could go for Liverpool defenders like today, like Robertson. Like we said a while ago, as soon as Van Dijk was out, just didn't fancy them Liverpool defenders. They just, don't want to be putting money into defence. Or then you can get Diaz, Cancelo, even John Stones. They're all cheap, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you don't need to save that money. Like I've got De Bruyne, Grealish, Neto, Fernandes in midfield. I'm just quite, like I say, I might get rid of Neto after I need him, but happy to sit on them. I'll just keep Grealish and Bruno. Bruno, I think, is probably close to essential. I think he's just great. But
he's unbelievable.
De Bruyne could go, but it's so risky to take him out. But sometimes you've got to be a bit bold.
I said nobody was essential, but I retract that statement to go back and say that Bruno probably is.
Yeah, I think the only two players I could see, any real upside for spending De Bruyne's budget on, maybe Robertson at Liverpool, kind of move into like a 4-3-3 potentially. He was off the passing day. I think he only got about 47 odd passes, but generally he's been absolutely superb, right? He was close to a number of assists again today. He's their most dangerous player, obviously apart from like Mane and Salah. Or maybe, if Arsenal do turn a corner, which they showed some green shoots yesterday, just the potential for that Aubameyang. Maybe we all know Aubameyang on his day can be very, very explosive. And if Arsenal can keep improving, they've got the captaincy days, which I know a few of us took Gabriel out for Bamford this morning, so we haven't got any Arsenal for that day. I think that's the only other one maybe I would think of, but then again, if you've got Kane, Salah and Bamford, you're stuck with your 33 anyway. I think my views on KDB, I would just be really, really careful because, all right, he's away to Everton next, then away to Chelsea. Although I would say the way that Chelsea are defending, I think that may be actually a decent fixture for KDB. But after that, they're home to Brighton, home to Palace, away to West Brom, home to Sheffield United. I personally think if you take him out, you're going to miss a haul, and then you will have spread your funds elsewhere, and then you will have to take out another premium or use 2 transfers to get him back. That is my New Year's call. Is that is what will happen. I think while KDB isn't essential, with his ownership and the multiple ways he can score points, you don't have him and he does go, which he's likely to at any point. Because let's be fair, okay, yesterday he's playing quite deep, he's still swinging in those crosses, he's still getting away the odd shots that are getting blocked. It's not like he's completely out of the game, right? He
should have scored, shouldn't he? He had that one-on-one.
He should have scored. He had the winner. In the previous game, Sterling missed a header in the last minute from 2 yards out, and I think there was a similar one a few minutes earlier as well. He's there or thereabouts.
He's hit the post and the bar when he's been on.
He's there or thereabouts, I'd say.
And Aguero's going to have to play again soon because Jesus is out. So do you know what I mean? If there's someone who can actually finish some chances, he'll be all right again. But yeah, it does look depressing, doesn't it, when you're seeing twos, and he's 11.5 mil.
But then you look at his ownership, and it's not the end of the world, right? Because everyone's in the same boat, and if you haven't got him, you are going for a player that is not as good as Kevin De Bruyne, and there's always the risk then of needing him back, especially with those fixtures they've got until the overhaul, which are absolutely mint. Okay, let's move on.
Sorry, mate. I've quickly loaded up the transfer in and out stats. Do you want me to quickly run through them or not bother? I was just looking at when I saw the most transferred players out since last Sunday. We've been stitched up by Lampard here. He is the numpty of the week, right? Chilwell been taken out of 27,000 teams.
Unbelievable.
Just lied to and been Frank's made a mug of us. And then Reece James taken out of 12,000 teams. Just, so what you're talking there, nearly 40,000 transfers for 2 players that weren't actually injured just because of him saying they're probably, likely to and blah, blah, blah. Unbelievable, isn't it? And that don't help, does it?
And then they go and concede 3, which was beautiful.
Yeah. So, I took out Reece James, so nightmare. Took out a fit player. I took out Reece James, who was fit, and brought in an injured player, Vestergaard. Then I transferred him out for Matip. That's going great. And I'll tell you how I played.
Sign up to James. Fantasy Football Hub for all your best fantasy tips of former winner
that's
Dan
James
Cox.
Planet FPL's fault, that is, mate. Matip. I'm blaming him for that. But that's in the A team, which I've got rid of the A team now. I'm all about the B team. Like I said, if they were two, like I said, the teams were 2 women, that A team I've basically taken out, got drunk in front of too much, gone home and spewed all in our house. That's how bad that's gone. And the other one's all right still. So that A team's going to be, I'm going to sack myself from it because taking out a fit player for an injured player, and then bringing in Matic, who I never even wanted anyway. Nightmare, mate. Not been good. But the B team's doing really well. So thank Christ we have 2 teams.
Thank goodness. Stats.
Yeah. So Chilwell out of 27,000, Reece James out of 12,000, Kyle Walker out of 5,800. He's tested positive as well, ain't he?
Yeah.
James Rodriguez out of another 5,000 this week. It's just so slow for people to be taking him out, aren't they? Like, he's been out of form and not playing for weeks. So, what are people would have been on the moon to not get him out? And then Aubameyang again. He ain't done anything since they won the FA Cup in May or June or whenever it was. He was out of 4,400 teams. Let me just get the ins. Kurt Zuma.
Vestergaard must be up there, Dan, though.
He is not. No.
Dan Cox on transfers in.
Yeah, he's not there. Yeah, I can't see him on here. I probably don't help. I've had a few beers. So Zuma was the most in 11,000 teams. So thanks to everyone who's brought him in because you've broken him.
Yeah.
He didn't even get. Well, actually, did he get passing bonus? Did you see that?
It hasn't been credited yet, is it?
He had been credited. So yeah, Zuma's not even getting passing at the moment. I think 2 or 3 games in a row he'd finished on 58 passes, and he just Salah into another 10,000 teams, Robertson into 8,799 teams, Thiago Silva 7,000 teams, and Ruben Diaz into 6,000 teams. So actually top 5's into now. Actually, Stuart Dallas is 6th most into 4,000 teams. Like, where have you been for the last 2 months? So that's them.
Thanks.
I ain't got the ownership because I've been busy playing Lego.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. With bonus magnet defenders dropping like flies, Vestergaard, Matic, Gabriel, who is the next cab off the rank? Do we feel more confident in Stones, or is there another defender going to the radar? This is a question off Mark Wright. Dan, what's your thoughts there, since you're the expert?
I like Stones. He's good for passing, and he like anyone is who plays. If me or you played for Man City, I'm talking to Paul, not you, Fergie. Probably a bit too old. But like we'd pick up 70 passes. Do you know what I mean? So anyone who plays for Man City defence is getting passing. But I just don't. You never trust Pep. He's worse than Lampard. So I just don't know. Like Laporte, what's happened to Laporte? Do you know what I mean? Has there been a fallout? You just don't know, do you? Is he then going to suddenly bung him in? I think it looked good for Stones. So actually, I might bring him into that A team. So if you're thinking about it, maybe don't. But yeah, I like Stones, Cancelo. But again, they're gonna be rotated in the odd game. But when they do play, they're most likely going to pick up 10 pointers, aren't they? So I just bring them in and stick with them till the overhaul. But yeah, I don't really know who is hitting passing bonus regularly in defence that ain't injured, or I don't know. I've got Dallas. I'll probably just keep Zuma in my other team, and who else have I got in there? And Diaz. Yeah, I've just literally got 3 defenders in that, and that's all I'm going with at the moment. I'm going to keep till overhaul.
I think so I'm the same. So I'm on Zuma, Dallas, and Diaz now. So I took out Gabriel for Bamford. But for me at the moment, in this period where there's going to be COVID issues, there's rotation, there's a lot. I think until the 12th of January, unless it's a bit obvious, right? So, a few of us moved off this morning from Gabriel to Bamford, right? So Bamford is likely to start every game. I would potentially think about having a bit of a formation switch rather than try and stick on something, because there's no one that stands out. The only person I would say for Man City who I think is a good option in a couple of weeks' time, and I mentioned this last week, the week before, whenever it was, is Ederson, because Ederson and Diaz for me are the only two who are absolutely nailed on. And I mentioned Man City's fixtures earlier. Okay, the next 2 are not the best, but after that, Ederson is going to get 9 points for a clean sheet in probably at least 4 or 5 of the remaining 6 or 7 matches there. So I personally think it's worth spending a bit more Ederson. Martinez's fixtures dry up soon as well. It's something I'm looking at. I haven't made a plan or anything yet, but it's something I'm looking at, potentially Martinez to Ederson. There's also, I think,
it's unfortunate that they play on the same day in that sort of blank game week, because I had looked at that move too, but they play on the same day. because I would have
okay.
thought that would have been a perfect spot to move off on,
Yeah.
because I think Villa play Spurs at home and City play Brighton at home, I think, on the same day.
Yes, it is. It is that day, yeah.
Because coming off Neto at that point in time might have freed up the money as well, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think there's other options at the moment. I just don't think, you know, that spot, I probably wouldn't waste it. You know, you've got players like Grealish who are he was unlucky yesterday, right? But he could have had a load of points yesterday. Even Ollie Watkins, you know, Calvert-Lewin, potentially. If you can upgrade to get to Vardy, you know, I personally think there's other options. How about you, Paul?
I like Cancelo. I think he's played 10 of the last 11 now.
Yes.
Is he on the suspension tightrope?
David Jack has just put that in the chat. I know he had a yellow yesterday, really late on. I'm not sure, but he looks so dangerous. My goodness, how he haven't got many or any attacking returns yet. It's been unbelievable.
I like Cancelo, but I wouldn't be adverse to going down to one or two players I like. So there's Kufal, and I know he picks up tackling bonus. I personally think there's better options. I don't think that Soyuncu will come back before overhaul and play regularly. And I think Fofana at 6.1.
Fofana looks amazing.
If you look at their fixtures, they play Crystal Palace. So if he starts against Palace, he will pick up passing bonus. Then Newcastle, he'll pick up passing bonus against Newcastle as well. 6.1, he's great. And so I came off Gabriel and went done that Bamford move as well. The one player I'm potentially looking at, although I can wait until we see team lineups for the first of the two Arsenal captaincies, is Rob Holding, 6.4 million. I think he's the go-to player that I'd be looking at, but then I would be hesitant of making that move until I saw that first lineup, because Gabriel might be back in at that point in time, and are we sure what the best back four is apart from the two fullbacks?
They don't want to bring him in, and like I personally wouldn't want to bring him in because I don't think he's a guaranteed starter when you've got Gabriel, David Luiz, Tierney, all these players. Personally,
I think there's something. I think the David Luiz thing with him and Willian, I don't know. I'm not spreading rumours. I personally think that there might be something in the or they're ill when the two of them were the people that were trying to oust Arteta. They weren't in the squad yesterday.
Okay, that's interesting.
I think he trusts Holding. Holding wanted to stay and play for Arsenal. I don't know. That's my reasoning behind it. And you know what? 6.4. If he played that first game and then lost his space afterwards, I'd probably hold him until the overhaul, knowing that he's not taking up a lot of my budget. It's a thought. It's not 100% what I'm going to do, but it's definitely a consideration I'm thinking of.
Okay, and the last question. So we had a question off Dragos Sky FF, JK Sky Fantasy, and Warren Mooner on the best Arsenal player for the January captaincy games. We just touched on this now, so we mentioned Holding. Paul, what are your thoughts there? Like, you know, at the moment, it's obviously 2 weeks away. I think I put this earlier. You know, I responded to a comment on Twitter, and I said, look how things change in a period of 1 to 2 games, and how much your mindset changes in. It can be a matter of hours, right? So I think, you know, it's good to have a plan, but I would also say things change really, really quickly. So you have to be like flexible with stuff. Anyway, apologies, Paul, go on.
No. So Holding, I've been looking at Saka, 7 million midfielder. So he could be someone that could come off Neto too. And you had talked about moving on to Ederson, which I think would be a great move, like Martinez to Ederson. Martinez has served his purpose. He's done really well for us. Man City's fixtures are great. Villa's aren't so much. But Bert Leno from Martinez, if he didn't have the budget. 2 captaincy days. He's definitely going to play the games. You're talking that Holding might get rotated, whereas Leno won't. Right. He picks up. Arsenal concede a lot of shots from the edge of the box as well, I think. So he's always got the chance of picking up the shots bonus as well. So none of the big hitters. Like, I don't want to remove Salah, Kane, Vardy, Bamford, Calvert-Lewin to get Aubameyang in. It's just not something. Knowing that I would lose a game from from whoever I took out as well.
However, again, right, so if someone tests positive for COVID or if someone gets injured, having that kind of idea in your head of who you'd ideally want is probably a good idea as well. Dan Perry in the chat says Martinelli could be a swap as well. Yeah, Martinelli has been electric.
Martinelli's a striker. Yeah, he's a striker this season.
Yeah, he said he could be a swap for Bamford maybe, but you know. We'll see. Dan, any other thoughts on Arsenal?
No, I'm a bit. I done the I had Gabriel, and I was just going to hold him for them 2 games, but obviously with him then missing the next 2 or whatever, he should be back. And I just thought, do you know what? I'm going to make the Bamford move as well, and then go back. My only problem is because I think I'm going to do Bruno Fernandes out to Vardy in that time, so I'll have Vardy, Salah, and Bamford. I need to basically get rid of Bamford before I do that, so I'm going to have to make the move from Bamford back to an Arsenal defender 2 days before the game or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not going to see the lineup, which ain't ideal, because I was then thinking like, well, I'll just go back to Gabriel. And I'm like, oh, like that Mari's playing, and you got Holding. Like you said,
Mari's the other one as well, yeah.
Oh my God. So I'm like, do I want to go for Tierney, who just always seems to be injured on the floor in the match? Whenever I see a match, he's always holding his leg or something. Like, so I don't know. I'm thinking, oh my God, what is this? Because I just thought, yeah, Gabriel, but I'm not so sure now. So I just don't know. You never know. Aubameyang could come back and score like a couple of goals in the next 2 games or something like that, and then everyone will be bringing him in. But you need an Arsenal player. Like, I honestly don't. If it was 1 game, I'd say maybe skip it, but I don't think you can skip 2 captaincy games. Like, if you got I was saying to some of the guys in our chat earlier, like if you got Gabriel in his pass, he gets passing bonus, which he hasn't really been getting in like as much games recently. But if he gets passing bonus and a clean sheet, that's 40 points over 2 games in it. So you got to have him. But yeah, I think Gabriel myself, but I just had to see how things play out.
I think Paul was going to say something there, was it?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, it looked like you tried to interrupt your times there. I'd say the only thing I would say, I think Aubameyang, he's very much, for me, if Arsenal are playing well, Arsenal are playing attacking football, he's on penalties, which is massive this season as well, right? He only needs a penalty to potentially get a 14, 16, 18 point captaincy, right? So I think Aubameyang is going to be my number 1 pick. Obviously, how to get him is a different story, right? I'll have to have a think about that. But I do think Saka is a decent option there as well. He's a really good player. Some very good advice from Ian Parrin. Always make sure you can afford the plan, though. Work out the most expensive required formation before. And absolutely, Ian, completely agree with that. Okay, so let's just have a look at next weekend then. So game week 17, so Friday the 1st of January, the first game. So we see the alliance for Everton, West Ham, and then we've got Man United and Villa. I think it's probably safe to assume that Bruno will probably be the captain of choice on that day. Saturday the 2nd, Spurs home to Leeds, Palace, Sheffield United, Brighton and Wolves, West Brom and Arsenal. I think we're all on Kane, so
Bamford, yeah,
probably Bamford, yeah, exactly. I think Kane is probably going to get a bit more space against Leeds, you guess, than most of the teams. How Burnley didn't score earlier, I don't know. They were very unlucky, so I do think Kane is a decent shout for that one. Any other shout other than Kane on that one, gents? No. Sunday the 3rd of Jan, we've got Burnley against Fulham, the early kickoff. Newcastle, Leicester, Chelsea, Man City. Now this one's interesting because we've mentioned about KDB's form and obviously potentially Vardy away to Newcastle. Paul, what are your thoughts?
I just can't get him in. Look at, like, I was speaking to Luke Williams about this earlier on, the Godfather, and that's the that's the one. So I always write down, and the way that I played all season is pick the player, not the person I think is going to score the most points. Pick the person that I think will be captain the most on every day, and that's how I played it thus far. That's the one game where I can't find a decent plan to get a player in that I want to get in, or based like Vardy for that game, and I would definitely captain him if I had him. But so yeah, I'll probably be captaining KDB. But I would definitely captain Vardy if I had him, and we'll look at alternative plans, or based on what you were saying earlier, if things change, if Salah's injured or Kane's injured or something like that, then that would be what I'd be looking to do. But at the moment, that's what I'm on.
if you don't fancy Kane after Leeds, you could move Kane to Vardy, right? That's always an option as well. It's probably worth looking, all the fixtures, all the captaincies for the rest of the month. But Kane at the moment is just not looking very good option. He's not looking like he was at the start of the season. He's not in his own box, heading away those corners and all this sort of stuff either. So I don't know. It's definitely an option.
Get rid of him to Vardy on that Sunday.
And then you can also then spend the spare cash then on upgrading Martinez to Ederson the following week and all this stuff.
I just think there's going to be a better use of transfers after the overhaul.
You say that though, but you've brought in Neto and Bamford as well.
I've still got a good transfer. Oh, look, I didn't phone up Sky and get the extra 10 transfers like you did. So
maybe don't ask, you don't get, do you? And then so on Monday then, Southampton and Liverpool. Assume we would all be on Salah for that one, I would guess at the moment. But it stands, and then there's not games until the following Tuesday. So we get a week off, which is going to seem a bit strange, obviously, because it's FA Cup, but then they come thick and fast after that then as well. Okay, so gents, Secret Santa, been waiting for this for a long time. Who's arrived first?
Mine, I think.
Paul.
From you, Dan.
Paul's, yeah.
You're going to go first then, Paul?
All right. So
who is it off?
Me.
It's from Dan.
It's off Dan.
So it's very calendar shaped.
Oh God.
Michelle Keegan.
You'd actually want that though, wouldn't you?
Is it going to be funny or is it going to be emotional, Dan?
I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think you're going to be very happy with me.
You're a fucking dick.
That's your team, innit? Pride of Edinburgh.
Oh, very good, very good.
A hard calendar, brilliant.
That's your team, innit?
Yeah.
You've got to have that.
With an H.
You've got to have
just
that
like
up now.
Just like Ipswich is yours.
Yeah.
Hey. You've got to hang that up now, Paul, on the next one. Up behind where that lovely picture is of all that wine there, you've got to hang that up.
If that is, I'll just say, if that is that bad, send it to me and I'll send you your real present. I'll have it up at work, mate. They won't know what's going on. But I need a calendar. So if you're going to put it in the bin, send it to me and I'll send you on yours. Because I spoke to Fergie at the time. I was like, cool, this is naughty. I don't think you'll be impressed with this. So I already said to Fergie I was going to get you crate attendance.
I'll have it on the back wall for the next
Okay,
pod.
mate. That's all right then.
You were next, Dan.
Right. This is a bit small from Michelle Keegan calendar.
It is. It is.
And it's soft. Unless we discussed if it was something inflatable.
Oh God, here we go.
Right, what is this? It's like fabric. Oh, yes! Look at this. Look at that. I've been asking Will for one of these for a long time, and he still ain't sent it. So Will, come on, Fergie has to sort it out.
Turn it around.
Oh, look at this. that. Do you know what? I've had enough of this. I'm off. I wish I was as famous as this cat. You know that. That's bloody annoying. That. What if I get that to come off the back?
You need to go.
If anyone who don't know what I'm on about, I live in a pretty well-to-do little village. It's not a rough part.
Well, Norwich.
I live in a nice little area, right? In Norwich. I've won Sky, and I do this, and I have over 3,000 followers on Twitter. Do you know what I mean? But I'm not the most famous person where I live because this bloody cat has made it to national press because he's barred from the Tesco's and the pub or whatever. So the cat is more famous than me, and it pisses me off.
Well, there you go, and there's a remembrance now for you, Dan. You gotta go and wear it now. You have to nip off cam and go and put it on.
I'll put it on now, mate.
Well,
Give the listeners a treat.
Don't take your top off, mate. Flipping heck, you'll scare them all off.
It's after the watershed. It's fine.
And I'm gonna open. Frank has asked, what does it say? He can't read it.
I wrote it. Yeah, I wish I was
okay.
as famous as this cat.
There we go. Which uses.
This is the best one.
So this is my gift off Paul.
I've got a story once you've opened it for me.
Okay, hang on. I'm taking a while. Sorry. It's well wrapped.
Fragile. There's a box, and within the box as well.
See, flipping heck. I've got another box. So I had this box. I've now got another box. Oop. Christ, I'm all over the shop here. It's some kind of tankard. And it says, very good. It says, if you don't like it, get off the stream. Which is absolutely superb.
So I ordered it from this website, right? And it wasn't until I got the order confirmation that I realized, like, it's one of those UK companies that sublets like a lot of their stuff out to America. So I was like, this isn't going to arrive in time. So Fergie, cheers.
So you've got one as well. You've got a glass with a photo of me on the front. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So this was the one I ordered off that site, and then I had to go to my local printing company. It was like a local trophy shop, and I was like, "What have you got that I could do some printing on?" So they were like, "Oh, here's a tankard." So I messaged them, and then this one arrived in time. So
that's absolutely superb, and that was one of the classics. So for those who wasn't on the stream a few weeks ago, I was very, very hungover, and we had a bit of a heckler on the stream saying that I was hiding transfers. So I had a bit of a strop, and I said, "If you don't like it, get off the stream." And there we go. So for anyone who can't see it on the camera, it's a photo. It's my Twitter profile photo, and on there. Thank you very much. Well done, gents. I think that was a bit of a success.
Yeah, that was good.
Well done, all. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. Okay, so now we move on to Paul's quiz, the exciting part of the evening.
Cool. So,
Paul, you never WhatsApp me them answers.
I know. Dan and I were going to stitch you up. So I was going to give Dan the questions beforehand, and we would do a shot per question, and just watch you have a meltdown on screen. Yeah. Yes. So I've got 10 multi-choice Sky questions. We'll go through them. If you're playing along and you're on the chat, don't put your answers on the chat so that everyone can see them, and I'll run down the answers at the end, and you can put up your scores. And then we're going to do a bonus question for those that are in the live chat, and the person that answers first. So it's non-Googleable either, that question. Whoever answers first there will get a mug. Fergie, yeah?
Yes, I'm going to have to hold it up to the camera though, because it's got to be on, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. What do they go? You've got pen and paper or whatever? I'll run down the 10 questions.
Okay.
And then we can do the answers at the end.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. I need a bit of paper. Hang on. I'll use this envelope. Yeah, I'm ready.
So not like, you could go and Google, you could go to the Sky Fantasy website and get the answers to these questions. So it's just for a bit of fun. Yeah, it's just for a bit of fun. Okay, so Max Kilman, 5.3 million defender, became a Sky sensation when surprisingly starting for Wolves in Gameweek 4. How many clean sheets has he had this season? A, 0, B, 1, C, 2, or D, 3? So Max Kilman, 5.3 Wolves defender, became a Sky sensation when surprisingly starting for Wolves in Gameweek 4. How many clean sheets has he had this season? A, 0, B, 1, C, 2, or D, 3?
Okay.
All good?
Yep.
Done, Dan?
Yeah.
Cool. Question 2. Son scored an impressive 28 points against Southampton in Gameweek 2. But how many points did Kane score in that game? Was it A, 19, B, 22, C, 24, or D, 27?
Will you answer again? Sorry, Paul.
That's all right. Son scored an impressive 28 points against Southampton in Gameweek 2. Yeah. But how many points did Kane score in that same game? Was it A, 19, B, 22, C, 24, or D, 27?
Bloody hell, these are right.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
So question 3. Who is Southampton's most owned player overall in the game? So not one top 1,000, like overall. Is it A, McCarthy, B, Vestergaard, C, Ward-Prowse, or D, Romeo? So who's Southampton's most owned player overall in the game? A, McCarthy, B, Vestergaard, C, Ward-Prowse, or D, Romeo?
Right, yeah.
Yep. Question 4. 3 defenders have had shots tier 2 this season. Dunk, Dallas, and who? A, Chilwell, B. Webster, C. Walker, or D. Maguire? 3 defenders have had shots tier 2 this season, so 3 shots on target in the game. Dunk's one, Dallas is one, and who's the other? Is it A. Chilwell, B. Webster, C. Walker, D. Maguire? By the way, all of this was done at 3 o'clock today, so it was whatever information I had available today. If today's games change things, then I'm the jury.
Okay, all good.
Number 5, reigning champion Dorrian won last year by what winning margin? A. 10 points, B. 15 points, C. 20 points, or D. 25 points? So reigning champion Dorrian won last year's competition by what winning margin? A. 10 points, B. 15 points, C. 20 points, D. 25 points. He had sent out a tweet yesterday with a picture, a really cool photo frame.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
That one of his family members had given him, or his friend, or someone. Yeah. And I had the final league table and his final team as well. Really, really cool.
Beats a pair of socks, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Cool. Just a reminder for those that are in the chat not to put up the answers to the questions. So everyone gets a chance, and I'll run down all the answers at the end. So, question number 6. You want to go through the answers for the first 5, or continue with the questions?
I'm happy to keep going, mate. But whatever going, you.
Yeah, cool. Question number 6. Fantasy Football Hub Sky Game in brackets Twitter account has how many followers? Is it A. 1,143, B. 1,652, C. 2,189, or D. 2,604? So, Fantasy Football Hub Sky Game in brackets Twitter account has how many followers? A. 1143, B. 1652, C. 2189, or D. 2604?
I know this because I updated it this morning. Cheers.
I have logged into that.
Dan should know Vestergaard's ownership, so, so he's got an advantage there.
It's Dan's job to update the Sky Twitter, and he just doesn't. So
I do. I just retweet my account.
Yeah, exactly, to get you more bloody followers, so you can overtake the cat.
Well, I ain't going to get into I'm a celebrity, mate, if I've only got 3,000 followers as a cat more famous than me. That's what it's all about. What in the jungle. Or on Gogglebox, if you're listening.
Question 7. What is Andy Robertson's ownership in the top 1,000?
Oh, I do this bloody stats.
Is it A 5.6%, B 11.4%, C 17.8%, or D 24.3%? So Robertson's ownership in top 1,000, 5.6, 11.4, 17.8, or 24.3. Question number 8. Who is the highest scoring defender overall this season? A. Diaz, B. Silva, C. Robertson, or D. Zuma?
God.
Who's the highest scoring defender for points this season? Diaz, Silva, Robertson, or Zuma? Question number 9. How much is Anthony Martial in the Sky Game this season? Is it A, 10.0 million, B, 10.3 million, C, 10.6 million, or D, 10.9 million?
Quickly go through them again, mate.
Yeah. How much is Martial this season? 10.0, 10.3, 10.6, or 10.9?
I knew what it was last season, but I forgot.
And the final question, Paul Wood, who is currently top of the leaderboard, or was at close of business yesterday, has how many points? 1450, 1500, 1550, or 1600? So Paul Wood, that is top of the leaderboard overnight last night, had how many points starting today's games? Was it 1450, 1500, 1550 or 1600.
These are my answers in case anyone says I change any of them. I've written them all down by you.
Hang on. Here's mine. I don't give me a dress out.
All right, cool. You want to run down the answers quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Max Kilman, how many clean sheets does he have? Fergie?
I put 1.
Dan?
I put B, whatever that was.
Yeah, 1 as well. Nah, he's got 3.
Really?
What?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, all within like 5 or 6 game weeks of
Wow.
of them coming in.
What answer was that?
D.
D. Okay.
3.
All right, B. That's 0.
Son scored 28 points. How many did Kane score? Dan?
24.
I had
Fergie?
24.
I had 22.
19. 19.
I thought he pinched man of the match.
Didn't get shots bonus. Didn't get man of the match.
I thought he pinched man of the match. I thought it was a bit of a dodgy one where he pinched it.
A goal, 3 assists, and nothing on top of that.
He had 4 assists, didn't he? I thought he had 4 assists.
Sorry, you're right. That's included in that. Sorry,
okay.
you're right.
Yeah.
A goal, 4 assists, and appearance points.
0 out of 2. Good start.
Yeah, we're doing well.
Southampton's most owned player, Fergie?
I had Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse is correct.
Yes, we got 1.
The defender that's hit shots tier 2, Dan?
Chilwell.
Fergie?
I just took a random one on Webster.
It's Chilwell.
Oh, I thought it was too obvious. Flipping heck.
It's in there.
I thought it was too obvious.
Liam won by how many points last season, Fergie?
I thought it was 11, so I've gone for the New Year's, which was 10.
Dan?
I went C, which I think was 20.
Yeah, it was Fergie's right, so he's levelled it back up. It was 10 points.
Come on.
Bugger. Could have texted me, Liam. I've got my phone here.
Dan, how many followers does the Hub Sky Game Twitter account have?
I put B. I think 1,600 something.
Yeah, I think that's right, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
See, I do log in, Fergie.
You do log in.
1652.
Don't do anything on it. You log in.
So it's all square, right? You've got 3.
Yeah, that's right.
3 each, yeah.
3 out of 6.
Andy Robertson's ownership, Fergie.
I didn't have a clue. I just guessed 24%.
That was
I
D.
put B. I think was 5 or something.
Dan, no, B was 11. But if you put
B11, I put B.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
11.4%.
Neto, man of the match, by the way, chaps. Good move that was, and Paul was regretting it last week, Paul, if I remember rightly, on the old message. Yeah,
I was regretting it, but I still did it.
That's a nice 8-pointer, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Who's the highest scoring defender? Dan?
I ain't got a clue, mate. I put D, but I can't remember who I selected.
Oh, you're lucky. I think it is.
It's
Zuma.
D was Zuma.
Yeah.
He's quite a bit clear as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think Diaz was maybe second with 80 something, and Zuma
he must be close.
101 or something like that. Cool. So you're both square still.
5-4. No, I'm winning 5-4.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the Robertson question.
Yeah.
How much was Martial, or how much is Martial?
I love it. Lance Harrington in the chat, who actually designed all the pricing for Sky this year, but I might have an idea about Martial. I went for 10.6. I think that was C, wasn't it?
Dan?
I went C.
These are both wrong. It's 10.0.
Oh my goodness, that's cheap, isn't it?
Pretty cheap if it comes on form.
Oh, I need to get this to equalise.
Oh no.
Paul Wood, top of the leaderboard. How many points? Dan?
I went for C. I think 1550 I've gone.
I went for C as well. He's no.
It is C.
Yes. 6-5 to me. Get that shot down, Fergie.
It's a shot for Fergie.
Means I lost whatever happens on that last one then, wasn't it? Paul, I'm going to use your tank. I'm going to use your tankard for a shot. I got a bit of Gordon's, so I'm going to.
I might have a Bailey's anyway.
I won anyway, mate. Happy Christmas.
If you just want to put your scores in the chat.
Yeah, be good. So I got. I got 5 and Dan had 6. Yeah.
6-5 to Dan.
Good score there, Dan. Fair play. Cheers. Oh, that's not really nice. Flipping heck.
Okay, I don't know how far I'm behind when the chat comes through, but Fergie, I've got a question that I sent to Fergie earlier on. So those that are that tuning on every Sunday will know, and you'll know because of Dan's calendar that I'm a Hibs fan, Hibernian in Scotland. So There's a picture of a Hibs player that played in the English Premier League. Fergie's going to show a picture of it, and if you're the first person in the chat to get it right, then Fergie will get your postal details and send you out a Fantasy Football Hub mug.
I will do now. Just to say, we've had some quiz scores in the chat. Phil Speck got 2. Mikey U got 5. Dan Wright got 8. So many guesses, he says. Mike Neve 81 got 4. Tom Hartnell 5. Luke 5. Nathan Shaw got -3. That's a good effort there, Nathan. Mark Wright 5. Phil Speck 3. Will So Win 7. Saif Ali got 8. Ryan Wilkins 7. Tala Nadim got 9. Flipping heck. AD Tor got 4. David Beaton got 7. Was flying at the start and was worried if I'd get accused of cheating if I kept it up. Luke said he got 5 more points than Vestergaard this week.
I see it. Tom Hartnell and Luke both put McGinn down, like preempting the question I'm going to ask. And funnily enough, I was going to ask who the after McGinn, who is the second top Sky player this season that had played for Hibs, but I chose not to because I think it's the person that I don't like talking about.
Oh, right, okay. So, right, I'm about to hold it up to the screen, everyone. So the first person to put in the chat who this player is, you win a Fantasy Football Hub mug. Here we go.
That's fine. They're fair.
We had no idea, did we?
I haven't got a Scooby-Doo.
Not till we told. I didn't have a clue.
Len Murray says Doherty.
Voldemort.
For Paul's Secret Santa, I was trying to get him a Doherty heart shirt, but they were too much money.
Times are hard, aren't they, Dan?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so just hold. This is really good for our podcast listeners later on tomorrow. In here, me holding up a photo of someone.
Who is this?
Who is this?
Pete S has got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Ricardo Vazte.
Oh, fantastic! Well done.
So well done to Pete S in the chat. It was the first person to get it right.
We've had a couple of.
It's the only person to get it right.
He is. Oh, well done. So yeah, it was on Tom is just
Tom
after.
Hartnell was second.
That's Taylor's like second there, Tom. Always the bridesmaid. Sorry, son. Good effort. Someone's put Watkins, Ambrose. We had a couple of Ambroses. I look at it. So well done to Pete S. Send me a DM, Pete, and we will get you out a Fantasy Football Hub mug. Just a quick update on Andrew's questionable bet. So Dan bet me. So I pointed out a really tough run of fixtures for Chelsea a few weeks ago, and Dan said they would get 6 clean sheets in the next 8. They have now blown that already, Dan. So I've won that bet. By my calculations, we're down to 1. 1 pint now. I owe you 2.
I had Kane over Watkins. Yeah.
Oh, you did. It's 2. So
he should have scored about 7 yesterday.
He should have. He was really lucky yesterday, wasn't he?
Yeah. How did Grealish get 1 point out of yesterday? He was unbelievable, wasn't he?
He was.
1 point. It's like what? Booked when he went like half time. Gutted.
And it looks like that Pete may be a West Ham fan. He's an old West Ham player.
Yeah.
Pete's going to do it. So
4.5 million forward in FPL for. I think he was somebody that people were picking up on a 3-5-2 formation. So. Awesome. I thought that's why some non-West Ham fans might have known who it was. He scored an overhead kick against Spurs, maybe, or someone else. Peter, I'm sure Peter will be able to tell us.
Okay, superb. Thank you very much, Paul, for that quiz. That was really, really enjoyable. We'll have to do more then. We'll have to have like a bumper one end of the season or something. That'd be really good, wouldn't it? That'd be good, and maybe get some more involved as well. We'll do that quiz. Okay, so finally, on to Dan's rant. Dan, what has upset you this Christmas?
What has upset me this Christmas? Just captain's getting 2 points. That's always upsetting, isn't it?
It's every day at the moment, isn't it? It's awful.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind a bit of football on Christmas Day as well. That you think, you're having a few drinks, you're eating a load of food. The only thing missing is checking enemy passes, Diaz is on or something, innit? So I wouldn't mind a few games on Christmas Day. you know what I mean? It wouldn't bother me. Do you know what did annoy me, right? Mother-in-law went to her Christmas dinner, like lovely dinner, right? She had all the crackers on the table, right? So I sat next to my son. She was sat there, right? She said, "Oh, pull a cracker." They pulled a cracker over my plate, full of glitter. All this fucking glitter just went whoosh, all over my dinner. So I was like, "Fucking hell!" Oh, not supposed to swear, are we? But I was like, "Well, anyway, I'm going to be shitting glitter for about a week." Do you know what I mean? That's all I was just like, "What are you doing?" Like, I just had to anyway. But every time I go to the toilet now, I do have a look. I used to look out for glitter and stuff. So that was a bit annoying. And also, right, bought Mrs. a Yankee candle, yeah, whatever, stop and filler. And I must have been stressed because I was in the suit. I went to Sainsbury's. Whatever. I had my son with me. So when I got home, didn't even notice she unwrapped it. She was like, "Your bell end has still got the tag, the lock thing on it in case you stole it." So I was like, "Oh, what? How'd you get that off?" Do you know what I mean? I said, no one's noticed, are they? Do you know what I mean? Now I've got this candle. What do I bother doing? Going down to Sainsbury's and so fuck. That's just annoying, isn't it? I just smashed that was a glass. Yeah, I just smashed it with a hammer, and that was annoying because I was going to film it today. Be like, "Oh, got tip for YouTube. Like, if you have one of these locks, this is how you get it. I'm going to just smash it." I didn't press record. I was going to put it on my Twitter. So that annoyed me that the guy, whoever, it obviously weren't my fault. I didn't realise, but I was annoying that was left on. But the cracker, the glitter in my Christmas dinner was a bit annoying. But I've been all right, really. Apart from my Sky moves I made in my A team, not been too bad.
Good.
What do you think of the Sky scoring updates? You obviously mentioned Zuma earlier on. Leno saved the penalty yesterday. That's not been updated as well.
Yeah,
Lance is talking about that in the chat. So
it is annoying, isn't it? Like, because I know the
Lance
stuff
is loving it. Late.
The stuff comes through late, doesn't it? But you know when that's happened before, and it where like an hour or two later, another pass has been found from somewhere because the guy from Octa was on his tea break or something, and you know that Sky won't then take it, sort of thing. So it's like then you see Zuma for them to actually hit passing bonus, and it's like us too late. And then the Sky Twitter account, which we've discussed before, ain't much use. Do you know what I mean? And they're then saying we'll look into it, and you're like, surely they're not going to add them 2 points. We'll have to see tonight, but I can't see them adding it. And then missing the like. I watched that penalty save, and you're like, then someone pointed out, and you're like, oh my Christ, how can they not have the penalty save on there? So things like that are a bit worrying, aren't they? But then someone else pointed out, like, it's happened a few times with Bernardo Silva, was it? Or someone else, they said, David Luiz hadn't got, that had happened to them because they got the passing bonus later and it weren't awarded and stuff. But I don't know. That is annoying, isn't it? Like, I could do with the 2 points, so please add them.
I think as well, you know, we mentioned earlier as part of the quiz, right? So Liam won by 10 points, right? So if you'd have owned those players like Leno, Zuma, and maybe one or two others where there's been mistakes, it could cost you 50 grand, right? You know, it's that you know, big, right? So you know, we got to get it right. And since poor old Lance has left, so Lance Harrington, those don't know, so Lance used to do all the stuff for Sky and TF everything else. It's been littered with errors since Lance has gone, but it is, you know,
the fixtures. They didn't have the fixtures up there for next week,
till the week, but
that makes me worried, thinking, are we going to get to next week and I go to select my captain,
exactly,
and they've got the days aren't even on there or something, so you can't pick a captain, and because they will be on holiday, won't they? Because that's what they'll be like. There'll be no one in office till the 4th of Jan or something. Do you know what I mean? You can imagine, can't you? So it's a bit worrying.
It is. I haven't got much for Fergie's hairdryer. The only one thing I've got is tackle bonus, right? So I watch a game and I'll watch a person make a really good tackle, and then a few minutes later I'll check on FotMob or wherever, and they haven't got a tackle, whereas someone who I haven't seen get a tackle gets a tackle. I'm not saying that they're wrong at all. It's just when I'm watching a game, I usually, you know, I kind of usually look for the plays I've got, especially Bruno's one. Bruno, for me, looks like he's tackling all game. He nicks the ball off him, he wins the ball an awful lot, but he very rarely gets tackle bonus. And I watch it, I think, oh my goodness, he's kind of nicked the ball there 3 or 4 times. He's won a tackle, he slid in, won the tackle. Doesn't seem to get it, and then some kind of random play will just pop up. Oh, you know, so and so's had 6 tackles, but maybe it's just me. But I just can't. I cannot. What, you know, with like passes, you can say, oh look, he's had a little spell there of 4 or 5 passes, or shots on target, really obvious, right? For bonus tackles, I just cannot work out for the life of me. And the only other rant I've got was this afternoon. So I watched the early game. Who was on early? Who's the early game?
Leeds was first.
Leeds. So I watched the Leeds game. and then just kind of left on the telly, and West Ham and Brighton was on, right? So I gave the remote over to the wife. I said, I'm not interested in this game. Just stick on what you want. She's like, oh no, it's fine. I said, look, I don't want to watch it. I want to watch a game later. So have the remote and put on what you want, And she said, oh, don't worry, it's fine, la la. I'm like, no, honestly, stick on whatever you want. I'm not, I'll go out for a walk or I'll do this or that, right? So anyway, it kind of just stays on the telly. I'm pottering around, doing a bit of washing up. I go out for a walk. I do this, that, and I come back and it's still on, right? So then when
she's not in the chat, is she? She's not listening to this, is she?
She's not.
You've got to spend 10 days with her.
I told her off last week, mate. Anyway, so anyway, it comes to like the 4:30, a Liverpool game. I called my son. I said, all right, Tank, come on, let's go watch the Liverpool game. She said, football's been on all day. You're not watching more football again, are you? I was like, I just said, do what you want. I want to watch the game later. But I don't know if you guys ever have that, but I do. Happens to me a lot where I'll be like, oh, you do whatever. And it's like, oh, you've had the football on all day. You even watched West Ham and Brighton. I was like, I didn't want to watch West Ham and Brighton. Anyway, just a little.
You have got to think tactically. I looked at one today and you see there's 4 games back to back.
Exactly.
Like, watch a bit of Leeds Burnley. It's like, there's no way I'm sitting through bloody West Ham. But
Exactly.
We'll scrap that one, but we'll get Liverpool on, and then we'll watch a bit of Spurs and stuff. And you pick one. Not even West Ham fans want to watch West Ham, but Brighton, do they? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you sort of pick what one you're going to do, sort of thing. But yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. Actually, I did forget, right? I had Vardy in my team, and he scored, and they credited him with the goal, didn't they? Even though we all thought it was wide. Don't then say after the match it weren't on target, you knob. Do you know what I mean? Costing me points. If he weren't in my team, he wouldn't have said anything. When I have him, oh no, let's go wide. Just give me the assist, and I'll lose my shot bonus. So yeah, cheers.
Yeah. You make your missus sound like Nessa from Gavin and Stacey Fergie.
Yeah, well, she's got the same accent. We're from the same area. I'm from Barry originally, so I've got a little bit of a twang there. But my family and friends have all got that, that Barry Island over the island sort of.
You don't speak Welsh, do you?
I don't. I know the very basics, but.
And Paul don't speak Scottish. Can't understand it.
Gaelic.
Okay, so thank you so much as usual for everyone in the chat for supporting us and interacting with us on this live stream. So we'll put this out as a podcast. I'm not sure how much good it'll be with.
I wouldn't make.
Who is this? Who is this? But we'll put it out anyway, and people can listen to it if they want. I might put a warning at the start to say, it's probably not the best podcast version. Dan, where can people find you?
Twitter, Dan Cox 82. The article on the Hub. Don't know if I'll have one on this week. Maybe next week.
Okay. And Paul, where can we find you?
Twitter at Paul McAnulty 1 MCANULTY.
Okay. So this podcast and video will be on the Fantasy Football Hub, Sky and TFF YouTube channel, and also available in all major podcast platforms. If you like what you watch, please click the like button. Remember to subscribe in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. If you enjoyed your listen, please rate the podcast versions. Leave a comment. Our handles on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are at FFH_HQ. And our podcast Twitter handle is at FFH_Sky, which has got 1,652 followers, just in case anyone's wondering. So please follow and feel free to ask any questions. Our website is fantasyfootballhub.co.uk, where you will find everything you need for fantasy football all under one roof, including player comparison tools to fix your ticket up to stats, top played team reveals, and much, much more. Good luck to all our watchers and listeners this week. We're going to have a week off next week, as next weekend is FA Cup weekend, and there's no Premier League matches now until a week Tuesday. But we will be back on the following Sunday, January the 10th, to look ahead to Sky Gameweek 18. Which starts on Tuesday, January the 12th. We wish everyone a safe and happy new year. Should we play the Elves video again, just to kind of see us off for 2020?
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Yeah, we
and everyone give the video a like, give a YouTube a like as well.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, if everyone can give us a like, we'll play the Elves video just to see out 2020. We will see you all in a couple of weeks. Good night, all.
Yeah, it was good.
Is that the stream stopped? Oh, it's yeah, it was good. That was good.
Yeah, good. That I was surprised that we got high scores as we did. I thought it was going to be like a 2-1 or something.
Yeah, I didn't want to make. I didn't want to make it. I wanted to make it difficult enough, but not too. But
no, that was spot on, wasn't it? That was good not to do it with like cheating or anything, because I say it just spoils it, doesn't it? But when you're doing them right, bloody hell! Like I thought that was Zuma, but then I'm thinking actually Thiago Silva's been racking up the passing, and he's got a few goals, and stuff, and then Diaz has been keeping the clean sheets recently. So you're like, oh, I thought that was Chilwell with the shots, but you then are never quite sure, are you?
We're still live, by the way.